So this is still my birthday, and I can't believe it's only 4:30. So I'm documenting my whole birthday for no reason. So I'm not getting paid for that or anything. Sitting down. So actually, with my birthday, I actually don't really like birthdays. The first time I can actually remember my birthday, I was actually on a flight alone, going back to Hong Kong, which is where I was born. But supposed to be on the 19th on a flight from the UK back to Hong Kong, so I'll get back to Hong Kong on the 20th to celebrate my birthday with my parents. Back then, it was when I was year 6, so it was like around 11-year-old. And then I got to the airport late. So they've given my seat to someone else. The airline had the responsibility to apparently take care of me until the next flight comes. So they took me to a flight attendant's home, and she was taking care of me. She was really hot, by the way. That was a joke. She let me play GTA on her son's PS3 or PS2, I believe, back in the days. Oh, it was such a great game, by the way. I didn't know it was called GTA. I just knew that I was running around hitting people, setting fires to things, but I didn't know it was called GTA until like later. After that, she took me to a hotel, which she actually stayed with me for a night. We were in the hotel room, we slept for the night on separate beds, and the next day she took me to the airport in the morning, and I just took the flight back to Hong Kong. And I remember though, that was the 20th when I get on the flight, and I was actually quite frightened, and I was crying quite a lot, because I wasn't too sure exactly what was happening. But I thought, to be honest, like, I wouldn't have cried if I didn't have like this, mental health thing in my head back in the days. Like, I would have been resilient enough to deal with it. But I weren't, and I didn't know that I was supposed to be resilient enough. Or maybe I was 11, so it was actually okay to cry about it. But anyway, I spent my birthday on a flight, and that was it. And then when I got back to Hong Kong, it was already like 21st early morning, I'd imagine. So didn't really have anything going on during the flight. But I heard afterwards, some people do say that they can order a cake from the flight attendant. Well, not exactly ordering it, but someone else bringing a cake into the flight for the flight attendant to give it to that person, whoever that birthday is. Oh my god, I just felt like this is like the most awkward thing ever. I would hate that. If it's on my birthday and then I see someone bringing a cake on a flight to me on that little tiny aisle, just coming over with a cake on their hand. Probably the candles won't be lit because it's on a flight, it's fire hazard, but it will still be just really funny. And then they just like start singing happy birthday to you, and then everyone in the cabin can hear it. Yes, I'm not rich enough to get on premium class, guys. I'm waiting for that moment to come, and Patreon me if you want me to get on a premium flight. But yeah, that's what happened. And then the next birthday I remember, it was actually when I was in Luxembourg, probably 2 or 3 years ago. 3 years ago, probably. Yeah, I was traveling in Luxembourg, and I didn't really do much that day. I just remember I was walking around Luxembourg. Like, it was quite a pretty city. Went to Germany when I was there, and France, and nearly went to Belgium. Didn't happen, but I wish I did. And then my last birthday is pretty much my shittest one. When I say shittest, it's actually not too bad, really, but it was just someone weren't being very considerate. I wasn't too happy afterwards. But then I thought, well, it doesn't really matter, isn't it? I was with my ex back then, and it was my birthday, and I was going to work in the morning, and it was all fine, and he didn't really mention anything. And then when I was getting home, and I just remember that I was 12, crying on a flight, and then I just, suddenly felt really emotional. Started crying, bursting out with tears, and I just couldn't help it until like 15 to 20 minutes later. And then I walked back home, and then my boyfriend back then, he was very kind of inconsiderate. And I remember he was looking at me, thinking that I was being unfaithful to him, and he was like fuming and was like,
"Where did you go? Why were you crying? Why were you crying and you didn't text me about it?"
But when I cry, I don't text people. Isn't that normal? I don't really know. Let me know in the comments down below. And then he was fuming, and he was like, "It's your freaking birthday. Why are you crying? Why are you supposed to cry? You're not supposed to cry on your birthday. You're supposed to be like happy chappy, going around." And that's not me. That's just not me. And he was expecting something else from me. And so I remember that night he was just being very kind of annoyed by the fact that I was, out crying on my own. But I remember he made it up with giving me a surprise and a lot of presents, which I hated because I told him that I'm a minimalist. And then he just gave me like all these useless stuff, like a iPhone charger stand. I didn't use it at all. And then he gave me a slice of cake. It's good that it wasn't a whole cake, because otherwise we would have eaten it all together. Or maybe I would have eaten it all, which is going to be bad. And so yeah, a slice of cake and a lot of presents and some telling off to do to me, which wasn't fabulous, I guess. It was fine. And then this birthday, thank you very much, Boris Johnson. I'm going to give you a kiss, literally, right when I see you after Tier 4 lockdown, alright? He's going to love it. Oh, I've made a new YouTube banner, which you guys can check it out on my channel up there, when you click on my little V icon. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm probably going to drink some wine later, because I've got some here that I was supposed to bring to my friend's Christmas party, which apparently isn't happening anymore after Tier 4 announcement. So, thank you very much again, Boris, for that. Thank you very much, COVID variant number 10234. Thank you very much for saving the planet with stopping all the cars from going around. That was a joke. Okay. But I think actually maybe COVID is a good thing. And after the lockdown, it really gave me some time to actually think about what's happening in my life and what's exactly going on. And I think it's brilliant that it's giving us that clarity. But at the same time, I understand that it hurts jobs and it hurts livelihoods. It's bad in a way. And I'm, to be honest, like frankly, really lucky to be in a position where I am now, where I've quit my job and I can still sustain myself. But I'm still broken. I'm still very broken. And I hope that whoever that's watching who's broken as well, just know that even if you're broken, there are conscious moments where sometimes we can grab hold of ourselves and tell ourselves that actually this is something that I can change. There are times when you can't because your brain is tricking you into thinking that you can't, and that's fine. Leave those moments behind because you can't do much about it. But once you try and grab hold of the moments where you can make your conscious decisions and then try and move on to make it something more beautiful, then that's the time when you are trying to win over your majorities. So how I think of it is, think of it like 0 to 100. When you're on a mental health breakdown or mental health crisis, it can be for a day, it can be for years, and mine was pretty much for years, but that mental health crisis can keep crushing it down, keep crushing your life down to about what, 0, 5, 10% of yourself. And it's very hard to know that you've only got 5% of yourself when you are able to be conscious of your decisions on what you're doing. But once you can grab hold of that 5% and tell yourself that you will be better and you can get better, and you start writing, then you can start trying to push that limit to make your mental health crises not pushing it down too much, not pushing you down too far, and try and regain that confidence in you and try and know what you can do, realizing your potentials to keep pushing up your mental capacity up, back up to maybe 50, 60, who knows. I think I'm probably pushing it up to around 60 to 70, but it keeps crushing it down really. So it just depends. But I'm sure that if I can do it, then you can do it too. And it's freaking hard, I'm not even joking. But if you are willing to try, and you're willing to make the effort, and you're willing to test and test and test to see what works for you, then it will eventually get better, trust me. And I know that because I've experienced it myself, and that happiness you're going to get from pushing that mental capacity of yours back up is going to be so much more rewarding than any instant gratifications that you're going to go for after being crushed down, like watching Netflix and stuff. Trust me on that. Please, please trust me. Thank you very much for watching for now, and I just hope that this would help your day so far or something. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching, everybody. If you liked the video that you've just finished watching, then you might like this one as well. Or subscribe to me. It's free, and hopefully it will help you a little bit with your mental health too.